Hey, welcome to my channel. My name is Emmie from Emmie Evolving. If this is your first time joining me, thank you for finding me. If this is not your first time, thank you for coming back. So right now I'm going to be doing a reading for Pisces, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. Also for your cross watchers. Also for people who just happen to find themselves on this video. So let me just go ahead and get started. I asked what this reading would be about, and I just kind of heard like, uh-oh. So let's see what the is about. Let me just keep shuffling. Okay. It kind of seems like some roller coaster, up and down, a lot of confusion. Hold on. A lot of confusion, a lot of lack of movement because of the confusion. You know, sometimes if you don't, if it's more than doubt and you just really are beyond unsure, you just can't seem to take that step forward. And I think that's kind of what's happening. Step forward from what? I'm not too sure, to be honest. Almost done, guys. All right. So, card number 23, defend to the end the worthwhile. This carries with it a feeling that it's been difficult for you to speak up for yourself. It's usually difficult for Pisces to speak up for themselves until they're already like beyond pissed off or beyond like they don't want to work it out anymore. I'm wondering if maybe you need to speak up before you get to that point. I'm wondering if the energies are getting you feeling so intense that it's I don't know, maybe even, oh shit, maybe even shutting you down, you know, unnecessarily shutting you down. Sometimes being shut down is unnecessary. You know, it's like you're allowing yourself to get so riled up over something that you really don't even have to be riled up for. So sometimes it can be unnecessary. Sometimes it's necessary because you're going too fast, doing too much. So it really depends on you and your circumstance. Card number 44, visions of life beyond death. So then this is basically another ascension cycle. Whenever you go through an ascension cycle, the person who you know yourself to be in that moment, at the start of it, it's almost like you're experiencing a spiritual death of that version of you, and a new version will rise up from that. So I'm wondering if the old you is preparing or being prepared to kind of be released and a new you be allowed to come forward. And that might be why you're being encouraged to defend to the end the worthwhile. You're worth that process that you go through to get to wherever you're going, to get to whatever level of growth you're trying to achieve on a soul level. Okay. Card number 40, Sacred Fool. No one can play a fool of you. Okay, no one can do that without your permission. You have to allow it, either passively or outright. It has to be allowed. You have to choose to participate in that for someone to play you for a fool. Everything that you go through is teaching you something. Is it foolish to learn? No, it's not. So as long as you recognize everything in your life is teaching you something about yourself, then you're not on a fool's errand, ever. Ever. No matter how foolish you might feel, you're not on a fool's errand, okay? So, card number 14, let love grow. I wonder if you clinging to something or someone, it could be a romance, it could be, it could be work, it could be friendship, it can be whatever it is. But so long as you're clinging to something that's kind of outgrown its purpose in your life, you're not going to allow love, true love, to come in. Whether that's like platonic love, romantic love, it's really irrelevant. If you continue to take up space within your field, there won't be space for new, more aligned things to enter. So card number 23, there's a solution for every problem. I think part of what makes it difficult for Pisceans is that we have to choose to implement the solution. And sometimes implementing the solution causes us to feel really badly, causes us to feel as though we're being mean, we're being inconsiderate, or just being annoying. I don't know. It's not always that. It's not always that. Sometimes we need to just kind of look at the situation for what it is, whatever the situation is, whoever's involved in the situation. We kind of just have to look at it for what it is. So card number 33, love the darkness. So I assume this is a shadow period that we're entering. Okay. Maybe not all of us, maybe just some of us, but it's a shadow period where you're probably going to feel very alone. You're probably going to feel as though no one understands. No one actually gets you. No one wants to get you. Just like a lot of really lonely type feelings. Okay. This is weird. Okay. I'm wondering if you're trying to save something that shouldn't be saved. I'm wondering if you're looking for salvation in someone else when that salvation is really you, where you have to do the work. You have to get yourself out of that. You have to give yourself the permission to move forward with or without other people. You have to give yourself that permission. If you're not going to allow yourself to recognize your needs, you really can't have an expectation of other people too. There will be some people who are capable of recognizing others' needs, but you can't expect someone else to create circumstance for you that's beneficial to you. You can't expect them to be obligated to heal you, to be obligated to like prop you up if you're not willing to stand on your own. You know what I mean? So it's like this is like a message or like a theme of letting go, letting circumstance go, letting people go. This is going to be a very intense ascension cycle. It might cause you to feel so broken that you look for miracles outside of yourself. The theme here is to dive deep within yourself, to look for all of this inside of you, to recognize that the things outside of you are reflections of what's inside. You really have to make sure that you dive deep inside yourself. This is a period that is very, very crucial for the next few months. This is the time where you're deciding how difficult or how smooth, I mean, ascension cycles are usually not smooth, but you know, how smooth your cycle can go. Cycles have a tendency to last for, at the fastest, a few weeks, like, I don't know, 5 weeks, 6 weeks, something like that. More on the average, it would last for a few months, 3 to 6 months. If you're really fighting your process, it can last from a year to 18 months, sometimes longer. At this point in like, I hate to say it, as galactic cycles, at some point in that, we're really not at a point where we can experience the luxury or continue to experience the luxury of drawing out the lesson for years on end. So we're in an accelerated period. that means that everything is going to be much more intense. Everything's going to be that much more confusing, that much more painful, that much more euphoric. Just wild swings, okay? Fortune is coming. Fortune. So with a fortune, that's abundance in all its forms. I wonder if you're cycling out of a certain part of your life in order to cycle into a new part. That's kind of like a difficult thing, because if you're trying to control these cycles, which that's almost impossible to do, you might make the wrong decision of like leaving behind certain connections that are not finished and going towards other connections that you probably shouldn't go towards. So you just have to be very careful about how you interpret these messages from soul. So this is the warrior card number 2, warrior. 2 is a number of guidance. I wonder if some of us are being guided not by ourselves, but by something outside of us, to argue or fight with things or people that we really don't need to. I'm wondering if there's a lot of like emotional manipulation going on the energetic level. Not necessarily some human being is intentionally trying to pick a fight with you. I'm wondering if there's a lot of manipulation going on outside of both of you, all of you, whatever it is, if it's a group, if it's a single person. Just really be careful about where your emotions take you in this next few weeks, okay? Those emotions, because there's so much major shifting going on within creation, it can really cause you to misunderstand what your soul is telling you. So, hope and meditation. It almost seems as though we're becoming so afraid of this dark atmosphere that we're in, or dark environment that we're in, within ourselves. Like we feel lost within our own journey, just a whole bunch of really icky things to deal with. And it's like we're waiting for someone to come hold our hand and guide us out of that dark forest. You have 2 hands. You can hold your own hand. You can definitely do it on your own. You really, really can. Until you get accustomed to functioning on your own, it does feel lonely. You know, I'm not going to sit here and tell you like, you just got to suck it up. You're not lonely. No, it does get lonely. But in that loneliness, you begin to understand what you really want out of the connections that you are trying to either reestablish, establish, or find. Okay. Eight of Summer. The desire for a more meaningful life, realizing that it's time to move on, choosing to make major life changes. So you can be realizing it's time to move on from a connection, or you can be realizing it's time to move on from your perception of that connection. Either you mislabeled someone, you felt like a connection was much more than it actually was. Like, I don't know. The obvious would be romance. Like you thought that you both wanted to be together, and it turns out you're the only one that wants that. Or like in friendship, you thought they were more of a friend than what you actually have, like the friendship that you actually have. So just be careful on distorting whatever message your soul is giving you. Again, there's this like sense that there is something, it's almost like a malicious intent to really like distort messages, use emotions to amplify the distortions. These are things, if you don't pay attention to it, it can really, really do a number on your life, like the entirety of your life. Connections with family, connections with friends, connections at work, all of that can be greatly affected, and it usually is greatly affected. So if you're not careful of where your emotions take you, it can create a huge mess, like huge. I mean, unless you like mess, unless you have no problem with that type of thing, then I would be really careful. Six of Spring. Wonderful news is on its way. Smart choices that bring reward, success, and public recognition. So there you go. Change is coming. It's going to be good change, but you have to make the smart choices. You have to make the proper choices for you. And what's a proper choice for one person might not be a proper choice for another. So just be mindful. Don't allow other people to dictate either through the sharing of their thoughts or flat out telling you. Don't allow other people to dictate the decisions you need to make for yourself, okay? Eight of Winter. You have what it takes if only you believe in yourself, thinking that you're powerless when you're not. A lack of self-confidence that keeps you from getting what you want. There you go, in a nutshell. In a nutshell. So believe in yourself more. Stop subscribing to this belief that, oh, I always make the wrong choices. I always make the wrong decisions. Wrong for whom? As long as you're growing from it, as long as you're learning from it, learning more about yourself, about your connections, how is that wrong? Is it wrong because someone else told you it's wrong? Because then at that point, is it wrong? Are they wrong? What exactly is wrong? All right. Let me just finish the reading. You have to be patient with your process, okay? You're going through all the different phases of your moon. The moon is the things that are hidden. The moon are the things that are kept in shadow, the parts of you that you're probably most embarrassed about, the parts of you that at some point in your life you were told you can't be, that you should feel bad about. Using me as an example, those are the parts of me, the parts that I've kept the most hidden and have been the most ashamed about, most afraid that other people will know. Those are the parts that people now have a tendency to really, really applaud me for. My my mouthiness, my lack of willingness to conform, just being like brutally honest. Those are things I used to be very, very embarrassed about. The fact that I feel so deeply, the fact that other people's pain affects me so much, all of those things were once super duper hidden. And these were the things that led to my decision to allow my compassion for self and others to come through even more. So be patient with your process, okay? Be very, very patient. Allow yourself to go through whatever you need to go through. You are in a process of like rebirth. You're bringing a new you forward. And the only reason it's considered a new you is because it's a part of you that you haven't been allowed or given yourself permission to bring forward and get reacquainted with. That's the only reason it's new. It's been with you this whole time, okay? Yeah, rebirth. You are rebirthing yourself from this like shadowy, concealed area. You're rising up into your light. You're finding your line of truth. And look, you're even playing a flute. The flute. Oh, that's a camel. That's not a rock. Oh, Lord. I thought that was a rock. So with a camel, I wonder if that's, that's kind of like a message to let you know that you don't have to continue to try and just hold on to everything and conserve your energy. Camels are really good at conserving their water so that they can travel through tons of like very, very dry environments that have little to no resources for water. So I'm wondering, and water could be indicative or symbolic of your energetic flow. Maybe you've come from a place where there hasn't been much energetic flow, and you've had to kind of just hold on to everything and be really tight-lipped about yourself. And now you don't need to be that anymore. You can go from a camel to a lion. Okay. Okay, I just realized I think this is a tower moment. Thunderbolt. Yeah. That's kind of concerning, because it's like with the word thunderbolt, it's like it came out of nowhere. It just struck you down. But really, did it come out of nowhere, or did you hear the storm coming in? Were you aware on some level that a storm is approaching and you just kind of, it's a storm. So just, I don't know. Hold on. I feel like there's a secondary meaning to this. Continued depression, living in a rut, entrapment in an unhappy situation, because this had originally come up upside down. So you have a choice to either rebirth yourself or continue in whatever is oppressing you. Okay? It's really up to you. There's no right or wrong. Whenever you choose a more difficult way to process or walk your path, it's annoying. First and foremost, yes, it's annoying. It seems like it's unnecessary. But when you do that, it actually gifts you with a higher, more amplified potentiality. You're learning more about yourself in your life when you do that. Granted, you don't need to do that for every single lesson. But when you do, just know it's not a bad choice. It's not the wrong choice. It's just a choice. Excuse me. Existence. 77% at 722. Existence. I'm wondering if it's time to just kind of to just get real quiet within yourself and just sit and observe your life. That actually sounds like a really good plan. Maybe just hopping off all social media, all messengers, everything, and just kind of sitting and observing your life. If there's a lot of attempt to create distortions, trying to figure that out oftentimes can lead to more distortions, more assumptions, more breakdown in connections. Okay. So, oh, they were stuck together. Existence and playful. I don't like how this feels. It feels like as you're just sitting there trying to be, there's something that's going to try and like woo you, distract you, try and get you to interact with it. I'm wondering if that's the case, I would have a tendency to want to sit even more quietly, even more detached. Just wondering. It's like a weird feeling. I'm not sure what it means. Okay. So the fighting card came up. Who are you fighting? What are you fighting? Why are you fighting? You can't just keep fighting if you don't know exactly what you're fighting and why. Senseless fighting doesn't serve you. It's senseless. If it was not senseless, it wouldn't be called senseless. If it was serving you, then it wouldn't be senseless. So stop fighting for no reason. Figure out why you're angry. What are you actually angry at? If it's not at the person or situation that you're fighting with, then what is it? What is it? Okay. So past lives. I'm wondering if whatever this is that you're fighting, I wonder if it has to do with past lives. 78% at 724. 7, 8, 7, 2 times 4 is 8. 78, 78. It's like mirrors. It's like standing in front of your mirror, but one of the mirrors has the ability to amplify. Okay? To multiply, amplify. Are we making it bigger than it is, the connection? Because if we're multiplying it, then we're making it bigger than what it actually is. So there's hands. There's a big ass fish. Arcadians, Egyptians. I wonder. You have to re-examine these connections that you're placing so much importance on. It could either be you're fighting. It could either be you're fighting the actuality of what this connection is, like it's much more, I guess, profound than what you want to admit, or you're making it a bigger deal than what it actually is, like the polar opposite. Be careful of your assumptions and where your assumptions are taking you. And then we have the breakthrough card. You're going to make a breakthrough in this. You're going to figure it out, but it's going to take you a little bit. You still have to process quite a bit about your life, your connections, your thoughts on that before you actually break through. Remember to keep your morals. Okay? Remember to keep your morals as you're going through this. If someone pisses you off, if someone makes you feel so, I heard the word disregarded, you don't have to snap back. Is it even worth your energy to snap back, or is it better to just kind of walk forward? I mean, do you have to react? Because anytime you react to something, you expend energy. You have to use up your energy in order to do that. So instead of reacting, how about you just choose to move forward, you know? That kind of does it for this reading today. I hope it gives whoever needed clarity, the clarity that you're seeking. If you guys could please give this video a thumbs up. If you haven't already subscribed, please do subscribe. Turn on that notification bell. Join me when I'm live. Bye.